Good evening. My name is Wahid Lutfi. I'm going to cover xterm session or xterm windows on this video, and let's just show you what I have for you on Linux platform. So I have done PWD to show the print working directory, which shows up here. I'm going to do this, repeat this one to just give you more detail. So when I do a PWD, I see that the files, the directory is listing, print working directory. If I do ls-l, it gave me a long listing of it. If I do a clear, I could see the same thing. So now PWD ls this time rather than ls-l. I don't want to get a long listing, so I do a list here. If I clear screen PWD ls-l star.sh, I get a long listing of all the shell scripts and with the extension .sh. But at this time, I'm going to show you ls-ld my xterm.sh. This is a shell script, and that you can see that the permission is read, write, execute by the owner, and then the rest of them are just disabled, meaning that anybody but the owner and root cannot execute it. Since the group is root by default can read and write and execute any file and any directory in the system, whether you block them with zeros or dashes or not. And so this one is just telling you that you can access it. And if you do a stat on this one, my xterm.sh, you can see statistics information that are revealing the same kind of information for the permission. So you can see the permission is right here on this access permission. Here, read, write, execute, and then the rest of them are dash. And if it is a regular file, ordinary file, like this is regular file, you can see here, it is having a dash here in front of it. That means it's a regular file. If this was a directory, it would be a D. If it was a block file, it was a B. If it was symbolic link, it would be L, and so on. So let's just look at the rest of this information. We know that this file is there, but what if I just want to read the content of it? Let's just clear the screen again. This time I'm going to say ls-ld my xterm.sh, and then I say head -8 my xterm.sh. Notice whether you do cat my xterm.sh and then pipe head -8 to read 8 lines from the output of this file and then pipe it into the head command, or you just minimize it with one command. You don't need to use the head command. Some people, they always do a cat or more of this, then grep something. So if you do head or tail some command, if you, let's say you want to read the last line, 5 line of the script, my xterm.sh, you just do a tail -5. You don't have to do cat minus, like for example, -n would show you the name of the file, and then you don't have to say tail -5 to just say that I'm reading the last 5. And if I do a word count -l, my xterm.sh, you can see it's 28 lines. So when you tail the last 5, it is the same thing as doing it a short form here. So let's just look at it again. Cat rather than cat head -8 my xterm.sh. So what am I going to show you today? I want to show you how to do the xterm session. Some of you are very familiar with xterm, some of you need some help. And if you need to just set up your environment for xterm session, this is a video for you. Please make sure you understand what I'm doing here, and I'll show you exactly one by one how to set it up and how to change things that are not working and how to run an X session. So first of all, this is script, my xterm.sh. I wrote it for the purpose of showing you how to set up your xterm session and have some customized terminal there. the requirement for this X window or terminal emulator to work, you need a terminal emulator software on the client side that you're accessing the server side. So on this machine, if I just type in host name, I'm on a remote machine. If I say, who am I? It shows that I'm logged on from this machine, which is the IP address of the local machine on Windows that I came from. So this is showing that this is the connection. So if I do ps minus ef grep minus I sshd, you can see that the connection is established one way or another one. And then the IP address of that one would be showing on lsof minus I colon 22 for the port 22. So if I just do that one with sudo access and then type in the sudo password, now you can see that I'm coming from that IP address of 136 here. As you can see, that is the list here. Sometimes I show these commands in the last argument. So if you want to just see this one, since it is on the right side, and sometimes when I do short, you don't see it. In order to do that, something like on Linux, you could just play around with it. So this is field 1, this 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Field number 9, we could do something like same command here. We could say awk and then print $9. And $9 would be the field 9 listed here. Then you can see that 136 here. And if you want to just say, well, I like that one, but I want to just only get the IP address here, you can just up arrow here and then just say cut minus D, and then the delimiter in this case is this minus F1. Get that one, and then that would give you minus D greater sign. So this is F2, but then you have to do another cut and to actually get the IP address. Cut minus D colon, this time I'm going to do colon minus F1. And we don't want the field 2 this time. So this would just give you the IP address here. This is where it was saying that when I did who am I, it was showing that I was coming from this IP address. And so those of you that are looking at the video that are long, you're already seeing that the connection from the LSOF output for port 22, in which I run this command here, right here, it was just already showing this 36 as established connection. So we're going to also look at the actual script. So when I say clear the screen, if I say head minus 8, my xterm.sh, I'm sorry, clear the screen, head minus 8, my xterm.sh. This one shows the purpose of this script is to customize some xterm session, and then also running xmeng, or which is free open source software, or Reflection X or Hummingbird or something of that sort. You are just basically doing a number of things in order to just make sure you meet the requirement. So if you are running xmeng on the client side, which I am, so you do xmeng, this is the app, you're running that one. And now in the terminal emulator is basically looking for a number of things. So display is there, and then who am I is there, that I'm coming from this. But in order for me to do it, before I SSH to this machine through that connection that I earlier showed you with the SSH command here, right, on this one, let's say on this one, I was coming from this IP address. So now if I just come back on my Windows machine CMD here on the command prompt, and then type in ipconfig, and then /alt, this would give me all the information from the IP addresses and everything there. And notice that this is the default gateway. Similarly, I'm getting a .136. So if I don't do the dash all here and just say IP config pipe more, you can see it is coming with this IP address of 129. But because the host name gets reassigned through dynamic host configuration protocol, DCP, to the default gateway that I'm just resolving my DNS name, then it's going to just resolve to that other number, which is, let me just see right here. So if I say in this lookup 47.154.104.136, and then I know that where I'm coming from, but it is non-resolved here because through the DNS it gets resolved through DCP again. So, and the one with the NS lookup was 192. That's a local subnet of 254.129. That's my IP address on this machine that I'm coming here. As long as I do netstat minus AN here, I know that I'm coming from through the gateway, and then the netstat minus RN will show also the default information. But let's just get into back to the reflection X stuff. Since I'm running and I'm doing this one, and there's two requirements here. On the client side, on the Windows side on my machine, when I go to this software right here to connect to SSH, through SSH, I'm using this terminal here. As you can see, the X forwarding, it says display is this 127.0.0.1, and that display 0:0. So the display is exported through the Xmeng here using X forwarding. But in order for this one to work, on the server side here, I have to also do export that. And there's a file called etc sshd underscore config. sshd underscore config is the secure shell daemon that I previously mentioned on one of the secure files, that this configuration is the daemon for the server side. And in order for this one to work, you have to do grep -i x11 forwarding forwarding to etc sshd and then ssh and then sshd underscore config, and then I have to write it in lowercase config. So now you can see this one is actually X forwarded there. That means that I am allowed to SSH through and this terminal here, the X session, and when I open a session, it will give me a screen like this, and then now I type in who am I, and then I'm established from there through SSH, and my xterm is there, and then echo $term. My terminal is set to xterm also because of that setting, and also I could do an env grep -i and term. You can see that xterm and terminal set. But at this time, if I just open a terminal, say xterm by default without any argument, any command that or x window session like xeyes, for example, xeyes, I can run it, and then the xeyes will open, and you can see here the xeyes. This one is there. So as I move my cursor, it will move the eyes to the direction that I move in. And then and this is one example. And let's say if I do a xcalc here, this is another example for calculator. Notice that when we run the X calculator, we get a number of warning, cannot convert. This is warning, this is not error, because the calculator opens and then you can do calculator kind of work on this, and then you just get the result output there. So 8 times 9 is 72. So we can close this one, and then we get that one. If I don't want to get the calculator, this font warning, I can also suppress that one. And Linux and Unix, if you want to suppress something, you could do to greater sign dev null. Let me explain what is that one, dev null, and then I'm going to put an ampersand here. So actually, let's just send this one to dev null. This means send the output to the dev null and to greater sign ampersand 1. Ampersand 1 meaning the same place where the output is sent, you're sending that result. So this one, send it to the dev null, and then to greater sign, the errors are also suppressed, or warnings are suppressed, and you get the output here. You can also have done that one through this command, like dev null. That would show, like, look at this one, because this is a greater sign. I'm not doing the standard output. The standard input is 0, standard output is 1, the standard error is 2. So you have to do a standard error, because that is, and these font stuff are shown. Notice when I do to greater sign dev null, that would work. So you have to just put the right standard error here, rather than the default one, which is a standard output for 1, and then a standard input for 0, and 2 is for standard error. So I hope you understand that part. And now we're going to go back to my script to explain you why did I need customization? Why do I have to write a script to customize it? If you're a developer and working on Oracle, or working on some kind of software that are engineering software, whether it is doing some kind of computation, graphic images, most likely you're going to touch X window and X GNOME and GDM and KDE and all those other sessions, that you're going to just say, I wish I just had an environment that I can run this one, because the terminal text emulator is not going to work, or open this one. It's in a, has to be in an X session. So if you do that one, a better solution is to just run like VNC, virtual network computing. And there's Tiger VNC for free, and then Real VNC, that's a commercial based software, which is very good. I have set up a lot of servers with Real VNC, and it's very, very efficient in order for you to run multiple desktop kind of session for whether it's 1,000 users or 100 users. They could log in, as long as the resource or the systems are powerful enough, and they can all log in as if they're sitting on their own desktop session. So let's say you don't have a virtual VNC or Real VNC, and then the software that you could do with X just to run a session is in every Linux machine and every Unix machine. So all you have to do is export it, and that X forwarding on, and then set up your client on Hummingbird or Reflection X or Xmeng, and then start working on it. And here is the script that I wrote my xterm.sh. As you can see, it has 28 lines, and I was showing you the first 8 lines, the purpose of it. I explained what it is, and then I'm going to go through these line 9 through 28. So as you can see, the face, the font face, I'm putting deja vu and then serif mono, and then that's the size. And also you can adjust your color, size, and everything here by font size. You can just say -fs for font size is this, and then -face is that face. You can assign any variable and you can change it. For example, on the title, I put my web university, my YouTube channels, youtube.com/@mywebuniversity, and I just want to see that fonts. And then here I have a comment section, and then the actual xterm session that opens command of xterm in the background. This ampersand at the end of it, it says to run it in the background. So I don't have to wait for my shell script to just finish with one, then open another one. You can have as many as you want. Here, I'm just showing you a number of them first, and then I comment, and then I will show you some other configuration that is important. But what is important, this option that on the xterm, for example, -t for title, you can just put any title that you want. Like I said, I made it to say youtube.com/@my-web-university. You can just put it, say, my cool title, whatever you want to do it. It's like soccer or videos or educational, scripting, developers, whatever. So the background here is the background of the xterm session. And then normally this one you can put text like dark blue or just blue or dark green or some color like white or something for the background. And you can also have the HTML code, which would be pound. The first two letters would be red and then green and then blue. This one, if you set the red to 0, meaning that there's no red color in there. And if you put 20 for the green, the 20 on the green makes it darkish green. So the smaller the number, the darker the number. And then the lighter, like 155 or something, that's or 255 is depend on what is the last number. You can just go as light as you want. And here is for the red, and then this was red and green, and then the last 2 digit is blue. So similarly for foreground, if you want it all white, you could pound FFF. You can also put 3 letters, that's sufficient. You don't have to do all 6 letters. But if you choose to do like all white, you could do pound 3 Fs or 6 Fs. Or if you wanted to make it black, pound 3 zeros or 6 zeros. That would work on that. And then the face, you just put the whatever text you wanted, just the font to display. And then -fs for font size. The font size in this case, I'm just choosing 30, so it would show, and then the last characters ampersand, meaning run it in the background. Notice that I have open a number of these things, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you, for example, the first time that I run it, if I just do my term, notice my term here is xterm. So when I run this tools, my xterm should be set here, but sometimes it's very difficult for you to know where the terminals environment variables on xterm is set. So that is something that a lot of the junior people are struggling to find out the right file, modify it, and other ones. I'll show you how to do those ones and how to fix them. So let's get back to running this one. If I run here my xterm.sh, so as many as I have these that doesn't have the pound in front of it with xterm, then it will run it. And the way I would know here, I could just say grep -i xterm, because they're all in there, my xterm.sh, and then word count -l. I should have about 9 terminals open here. And as you can see, they're opening. So right here, for example, is the white background here. So I'm going to say echo $term. Notice this one is saying VI. But when we did export term, it was not VI. And if I do env here and grep -i, and then just say, go ahead, show me this one. Let me move it on the right side here. You can see everything better. So if I do this one, and then I could say and grep -i term, then you can see that the term is VI, and that's why. But here the problem is that If you do clear command, it does not understand term VI. So you have to say export term is equal VT100 and then do a clear command, because now terminal is VT100, and then echo $sign term is set, and now you do that one. So I'm going to exit out of this one and then just go to the next one. Next one is similar. Notice here this color, if I just do echo $sign term, this one is also VI. So disregard to how what the command I use, like df-h. If I try to clear the screen, it says that that command is not allowed there. So let me just minimize these other window so you can see what are the windows that are open here. And then I'm gonna just go on the top one first and show you one. So now since I did this one, I could do export term is equal VT100 and then say exit, clear the screen, it will clear the screen. df-h, clear the screen, it will work. So I did that one, is good. Now this other one is also similar. So if I say ls minus l, you can see that is there, and I run xis. Let's do something here. Clear the screen, it does not work. So I go export term is equal VT100, clear the screen, it works. Now I'm gonna do export ps1 is equal $sign. So I could show you a little bit on the right side, much nicer screen. So here, if I just do df-h, clear the screen, pwd, echo, and $sign term is set okay. So if I do xis here, it does not understand because I mistyped it. So let's do a clear screen, xis with actual written I and then S. And notice that this one opens xis here. So if I just do this one and I say, yeah, run xis in the background, it runs xis in the background, and it will just set there. And then at the same time, I could just say, well, run that one in the background and just leave it right somewhere here. And then, or maybe just leave it up here. You can move it anywhere you want to do with that. So at this time, if I just want to put this one on top of it and make this a screen a little bit, cover everything else in there. And so we only have one screen, and that way it is less distracting for you. And then at this time, let's say I run clear screen again and I run xclock also with ampersand. You can see the xclock is also running. So I'm going to put xclock somewhere here. Let's see if I can move it. No, I cannot move that one, but I can minimize these other windows here. And then move this one to the side here, and then leave that one over there. And then let's do another command and then resize this window here, and then run another command, say xclock minus D for digital, and then do it also on background. Notice that this one is also showing the minus D in digital. And again, this one is just showing in the format that, yeah, I can move it now because I changed the size of it and then put it there. So you can do that kind of stuff here as well. And then if I want to just open a terminal, xterm by default, without any size or anything, if I just do it, notice without any argument, it just tells me that, okay, I'm running a xterm here with that session of just as a white background and black text, and it's going to show up. It takes a little bit longer because it's running on the server side and opens it. And notice I don't like this font and color and everything. So if I just do this command, it is not as helpful, right? So this one I can also run -hold and then say, for example, if I want to see the Python version -e, and I say Python --version. So I can run this one and in the background ampersand. I'm going to also do pip list. So I could get that one also on the background, and I can also run, say, run this command with a few other commands. Let's say, for example, the gcc --version. And so you could do that as well. And this is the Python version right here, and that was showing up there. So that one showed up, and then this one I'm going to do a version here. So that is there. So notice this one is for the pip version here. If I just resize this one, you can see the entire pip list here. And then if I just don't need it, I close it. This one is not running in the background. But the other one that are showing in the background, I can come back here onto to them and look at them. For example, GCC -version is right here. And then I can move them around here, whatever I want to do with them. You can see that I move them around. So here, if I just look at the Python 3.8 version, it's there. So this -hold is very good command, but notice the size and other ones I did not specify. So if I just want to get a size of minus font size of let's say 28, and that would be just a little bit bigger than the normal size -version. But then again, each command that you run, when you close it, since I'm running in the background, it will just say that that one got closed, that one got closed, and that one got closed. So all these three. The one that I did a little bit bigger than the previous one, with the font size of 28, I run it like that. So I'm going to show you a couple of other things before we do this one here. I'm going to exit out of this, and then I'm going to leave these ones. That's fine. I'm going to leave them here. You don't have to close them. These other ones, I'm going to just open it. And as you can see, each one of them, if I do echo $term, and there's a VI and then export. If I do a clear screen, it is not going to work. But if I say export term is equal xterm, then I can do it. And then clear the screen would work, and then exit also closes it. And so at this time, I'm going to close all these other ones. You can see that these commands are there, and then I'm going to exit it. Just as a last reminder, the last one I want to show you, that when you run a command here on this screen, for example, if you do ls -l and then you try to clear the screen, it's going to say the terminal is VT1 VI. In order for you to work on it, you have to set your terminal to VT100 or xterm. Either one of them would allow you to do this one. Now, notice when I do a VT100, the coloring is also working. But if you do xterm on the VT102, this coloring will not work. Notice it's all white. So notice this one is with 100, the coloring is working, and also with xterm, the coloring is working. So make sure that either use VT100 or xterm, not VT102, if you want the color to work for you, if it doesn't work. So here's this one, I did this one. Now I want to change that session. So when I come back and close all these things and say, okay, I'm done with all of them, but I have only one session here. Let's say on this session, like I started this one, I want to make sure that even though I'm not setting any terminal here to be VI, here I'm doing echo $term. It is VI xterm. But on the session, as soon as you start it, it comes out with VI. So the way you fix that one is there's a file called PPC. I'm sorry, let me clear the screen first. There's a file called home the username dot bash or c. So that dot bash or c on this one, if I go cd, I'm on my home directory, there's a file called dot bash or c. And then if you type in grep term, grep minus I term and dot bash or c, you can see that it gets set. And then it gets set here with export term and this. You can also do a grep minus, you don't have to do minus I if you say just the uppercase letter term where it is set, you could just do it. So now I'm going to vim on the dot bash or c, so I can just look for that term is equal vi, and then right there on the line 20, it is set. So I'm going to change that one with the pound, and I'm going to just change that one to, and instead of vi, in this case, I'm going to do xterm. I could do VT100 also would work. So let's just do it VT100. Let me quit out of this, clear the screen, and then do a vim.bash or c, look for a term. It is this, and then I go escape YY, copy that line, put a pound in front of it. This other one, I'm going to just do XX here, and then I'm going to do VT100. So since I did VT100, now I just do a grep minus I term on grep term on dot bash or c. Notice the line that is pound in front of it, that's not going to run. But this time the term is going to show VT100. So if I run my script again, my xterm .sh, I have to be on the other directory, programs, shells, and then my xterm.sh. That's where the source of that shell script is, the directory is. So we run it. Now it's going to just display it. Clear the screen again, my xterm.sh, and then cut my xterm.sh. So it's going to open up all these sessions. Okay, so you can choose, you don't have to open that many of them. So like, for example, let's say this is too light, this one is too light for it, and this one is not as good color, and then this one looks okay, promising, this one looks okay, this one looks okay. So I'm going to just say, for example, this dark green red is also good, and this dark green is there. So I'm going to close some of them. Let's just close some of them. And as you can see here, if I do a df-h, clear the screen, my terminal already is okay because that is there. So I can clear the screen, no problem. You see, for each one of them that I come in here, the terminal echo $ term is set to BT100 because the .bash or C exported it. So you fix the problem by just changing the term environment variable to VT100 and the .bash or C of the user. That's how you update it. And now if I say something here and then I say clear the screen, notice the lines or the coloring is all good. So if I just say cut -n my xterm.sh, I could see the content of it without a problem. And then if I just make this screen bigger, I have the size, and then do this, and then let's say export $, export PS1. PS1 is equal, and I want to just say something like short rather than the name of the path and everything. I could just say $, that's good enough, and then a space. And now clear the screen that is there, and then pwd ls-ld my xterm.sh, and then cut -n my xterm.sh. You can see that line numbers and everything on the file here. And if you don't want to see the line numbers, obviously, you could just take the -n out, and that would list them in the format you want. And then This time I'm going to just make it smaller. I mean, you could just make the listing smaller by commenting in some of them. Vim my xterm.sh, and then I could just say, well, leave the first, this is 1, this is 2, this is 3, this is 4, this is 5. Let's say we keep 5 of them here, and then comment everything else. Now it's only opening 5 of them. And then you just save it. And then at this time, if I just close these other windows, and then I say I don't need these other windows, notice there's other windows that are there. Disregard to what they are. You can always do the clear screen here because that terminal said okay. Who, ID, calendar, and then so on. So you could do that one. But here, let's go clear the screen and then say ls minus ld my xterm.sh. So notice that head of -8 of my xterm.sh shows the first information about this script, but I want to see the content of it, so I clear the screen and say cut my xterm.sh, and that would display the content of it as I wish. And if I'm looking for only grep -I xterm on my xterm.sh, I can do that kind of xterm.sh and run it there. So let me just do up arrow here. This is going to show on that script my xterm.sh every line that is stored with the letter xterm or the string xterm. But if I just say don't show me the one that I have commented out, I can just do the same thing here and say grep -v for grepping out the anything that is stored with pound on the first character. So that would just show those ones. And if you feel like, no, I want to just do it in the first place, yes, you have a choice. Say grep -v pound that on the my xterm.sh. This would just give you everything that start there. But some of these other lines that doesn't have an xterm, then yes, you can do another grep -I xterm. That would just minimize it to only xterm there. And we showed you a number of other things with it, but at this time, I like to just concentrate on the fact that you can open as many terminals as you want and work with them and practice with them. So let's say if I just run it again, my xterm.sh, while I'm on this session, I can still open another xterm session. So in this case, I'm going to open these 5 of them. And this is going to just open it on this other screen. Once it opens it, we just look at them and then do some commands. Obviously, the environment variable terminals are done. Oh, okay, so there are 5 of them or whatever number of them you can see here. So if I say echo $term or say env and then grep -I term, you can see that those variables are there. Locale, and then you can see all of the variables are there. Since I type in locale, let me just do a ls -l and then say locale here, and then clear the screen, and then you see that those commands are working. So I'm gonna just work on this red one this time, and then just show you some of the details, or maybe this one looks nice too. So one of these 2 windows, I'm going to just open it up, and then you can see that you can run the commands. So if you do a locale here, you can see the locale environment variable, locale lc underscore all is the C in the language. So when I'm doing that one is on the home, let's see, etc bash profile, I believe, etc or maybe it's home bash profile. Home wlutfi bash profile. Let me see where it is. etc store profile. So what I could do is look for that file in this directory, see if I can find it easily. First, I just cd to my current working directory, and I could look, see for anything with profile here. And then if I just do ls minus la, anything with profile, I know that there's no .bash profile here. Yeah, it's actually there. So that .bash profile was the file that I was looking for. So let me just do a pwd here. And then the file that I was looking was .bash profile, cat minus n .bash underscore profile. And since that, sorry, let me just do one more time, cat and dot and bash underscore profile. Dot is the hidden file, so you can get a listing of all of the hidden files with ls minus la and grep minus I profile. If I look at it, I can see that file here. Or I could do a simple thing here and say ls minus la dot bash underscore profile, and it will list it there. And with the hey for hidden files. So all files. And then the content of it, you can see that it's cat minus n dot bash, the bash underscore profile. It has two lines, and then line one is says the environment variable lc underscore all, and then the other one exported. So when you do locale here, you can see here that this is exported. So sometimes when you're doing xclock here, if you're getting that error messages and on the internet, people saying that, oh, you need to just set this one. Disregard to you set it this one. This is not an error, it's a warning. So in order for you to just get rid of the warning, just do this. Just do xclock to greater sign dev null, and that would just suppresses the output from the warning to the dev null, the device null, and it's not going to show it for you, as you can see. Other commands that xterm that you could do, for example, let's say I'm going to exit out of this one, make this screen bigger, and then right here, if you just like to learn, you could do export ps1 is equal, let's say $, and then clear the screen. And at this time, you want to just learn some stuff. You want to read information, manual pages in a nicer interface. You could just do, for example, xterm, and then whatever size you want to do, you could do that one also to just set it. Let's just write a quick script here. So I'm going to say copy my xterm.sh term.sh to my new xterm.sh, or just helper.sh. So let's just see if helper.sh would give me something here that I could do. Then helper.sh. So now, instead of these lines to customize some windows, this is not going to be the same. I'm going to, for now, take it out, because I want to just quickly write something here. And then I'm going to just only do the one with the background of, let's say I just did these other ones I don't need. So I'm making the script shorter. And let's just run a couple of them. So here I did already the term background, the font size. And right here, I could just put another option. And then the option would be whatever command I could do. So, and let's just create here, say option one is equal. And then this time we say dash hold, and then minus E, the expression, and then say man, let's say Python, everything that you want to learn about Python today, you could say that I'm going to do that. And then man Python, and then let's see if the double quote, sometimes it might give you a hard time. I'm just gonna start with the single quote here and then double quote with the -e expression here. Let's see if that would understand it there. And then for the first one, I'm gonna say $sign option one. Option one. And then since man, the argument is in a space there, so I'm going to try put this one in code so it does not fail. Let's see if it sorry about that, I need to type it correctly. Okay, $sign this. So this is for the first one, and let's say I'm going to try the first one first and then do one more, and then let's see option two, and then option two I'm going to do Python, and then let's say we do pep and then list, and then option three we do a Python version, option three, and then we say Python version, Python dash version, and then option four, there's 2, 4, 5 of them, so I'm gonna say pep version, so we see the difference between them. And then this one is option four, and then option five we are gonna do what is the command we want to do is just say which Python, so that would just say run the which Python command there and listed there as well. So and then this one I'm going to single quote it there too. So the option for each one of them I have to add the $sign, option two $sign. Okay, I need to undo this. So the fast way to modify this one to add the ampersand there, we could do something like file size and then a space there. So let's see if we can do that one. Say substitute 1, $sign. Actually not one. I'm going to modify from line 14. 14, $sign, substitute the $sign file size to we're gonna change it to $sign file size followed by mine quotation $sign option two double quote, and then this one with double quote, and then a space, and then substitute it to globally. So now we added this one. Since I did number two here, right after that one, I'm gonna do these other ones, 3, change that one to 3, and then search for O2 again, and then O2, that's O2, and then this one is going to be O4, and then this one is O5. So we replaced all of them there. So now let's see if we just look at this helper.sh. As you can see, all we did was just saying that our original command was xterm. We added some more option to just open these one and hold thing, and then just run these expression or the commands. So let's see if it works in there, okay, or not. Helper.sh. Okay, so there is some typo somewhere. That's why these arguments showed up saying that I did not understand what you're doing here. So let's see for the first one, if we look at the first one, see there, bat command line and dash hold and dash E, and then yeah, so this one is giving because of the too many space, too many strings here. So let's see the dash option here. Man Python dash hold dash E. So if we do this one with the option 1 as dash option, yeah, looks like that single quote is not understood here, but then we have these other one with double quote here. We have to escape them. Let me try 1 comma dollars, actually not 1. So line 6 comma to line 10, substitute the single quote. You want to change it to double quote, and then undo that. And then these ones that are inside here, we can just put the backslash here to skip it, and then say that put this format of that. And similarly here and right here, and line 8 similarly. If it doesn't work on that one, then you have to write it right at the line that you have, because some of the conversion till you actually see that what is the problem, translated to a different format. I'm doing it quickly right now while I'm running it, and it is not working. So let me just do copy helper.sh to helper.sh.back and vim helper.sh, and I'm going to just try only one line of this to just see what it works. Here I just say minus fa minus file size. Yeah, it looks like that is an issue. Let me just try one line at a time. So cat my helper.sh. I'm gonna just cut and paste this command right here. I have everything here, and then the font size, I'm going to just wow, we are in the xterm session, we cannot copy it. Let me just open it on this session here. Clear the screen, cut helper.sh. So this is how you just or just if you want to do the work here, first I need to just run the face here, because I want to use the face here, and then export $sign face. So now $sign face is not there, so export, and then we just do that. And then now actually I should have done that earlier. So let me just see if when you do this, and instead of exporting it, export is going to do it. You're going to do an export face and then echo $sign face. That would just do it. So now I'm going to copy this stuff here up to here, and then font size, since it's only 30, I will just type it. I don't have to set that variable. And then this other variable, since we did it with this, I'm going to just try running this command on the argument. Oh, if you do it with this double quote, that's how our script is doing it. It's gonna fail, and that's why. So the way you corrected it is just say, go ahead, do this, and then don't do this, and then do this. And now this one is opening it, but notice that there's a dash hold, so you don't want this one. This would work. And so dash hold and dash E, and then man Python. Yeah, we could just do that part here. So this is going to work, and then the way I would fix it on the script here and say, yeah, so this one did work, and it opened it. And let me just see, it is going to just display the information as we had requested. Dash BG for background, it looks like it is missing something there. Let me just close this one here, and vim helper.sh, and then here the helper.sh, since I'm doing it with Python, I'm going to remove this dash hold here, and then modify it like that, and then this dash hold here, remove this one, and then remove this one, and then this one. I could have just do it in one line of changes, but it's not that many, so you can just delete it here as you want it to make sure that this is taking place. And then right here, similarly. So now the actual commands are on the option. We just have to put fs and then dash hold dash e in front of it. So on in line 11 comma $, substitute this fs this substitute it, let me just put the $sign in front of it, 11 to $, substitute, and I'm going to just substitute everything with fs. So how I do $sign fs, put it back to $sign fs, followed by minus hold and dash e, and then the rest of them is the command followed after that. So we just added this dash hold dash e after that one with the set command, and that's how you substitute those lines. So at this time, if I run that helper.sh, this time it did not fail. It worked on all of the commands. So whether it is going to run these commands inside the terminal, we will find out now. As soon as those terminals are open, we will see what the man pages and pep list and Python dash version and everything that works. Yeah, it works 100% accurate. So this is the Python 3.8 version that you can see it's working. This is the general Python command man pages, or whatever the command was for this one, to just get this was the output of which Python. So we could get that one, and then let me see the blue one here. This one is pep list for the Python packages that were installed. Actually the pep version. Pep version was there, 3.8, and then this one is man on Python, and there manual pages, and this last one is on pep list right here. This one. So if I minimize this one and then look at this window, you can see pep list is running on this command. Pretty cool. So now the helper, if you just say copy helper and $sh to helper $sh, and then vim helper $sh. Now you have a template. All you have to do is say, okay, I want to get a man page on GCC, for example, for GNU C collection compiler, and then run, say, in GCC-V for the version, or just say in GCC-version, you could get those ones. And then if you just say man on G++ for a C++ compiler, you could do that one. And similarly, which G++, and then you could see which G++, and then you can see that for the G++ compiler. Here, if you do dash GCC for that one, or GCC++, whatever, you could do G++ here, G++ here, and add more windows, that's fine. So here, this time, clear the screen. Now say cat -n helper2.sh. Notice that this is very nice template that you can just add on and start learning. So this is good for your career, for your school, everything that you just say, I want to learn Python today, I want to learn GCC. So you could list some of the stuff or like documentation. You don't have to buy books, it's all online available for you. And if you need some technical documentation, I have more than 66,000 technical documentation on my webuniversity.com under the manual pages. So you're welcome to use those ones. Like right here, you could just say, okay, let's just go over this GCC, and then I'll finish it up with the manual pages after. Let's go here. You can see right here, the first one, GCC, for the man pages, it shows up here. So I'm going to close this one. The next one is the GNU and GCC also listing here with the manual pages. The next one, let's see, what is this one? This one is unrecognized because -v option was not there. So you could just actually, there's a -v option. You could do that one, but let me show you how you do this one. So GCC here, it shows you that the version that is running, and then with GCC or G++, in this case shows that one. So the one that says -v is not recognized. If you try, say, which GCC or which G++, so G ++ version would work, and then uppercase V would work. Uppercase V is actually lowercase v is working, not uppercase V. Uppercase V would say, give me the input file name of G++ or C++ compile source code, so I can compile it. So let's just vim helper2.sh, and then just this uppercase V is lowercase, because that's for the version. So GCC-V or G++-V would give you that information. Okay, so let's just go through why these technical documentation that are available for you on my website. My webuniversity.com is the website. So if you come in on the main page, then you're clicking on this one, you will be giving this and the direct path to Linux Ubuntu book that I wrote. And it is all online available for you for free. It is Linux plus shell scripting plus Apache web server plus documentation. There's a lot of them. And then just on the first chapter, for example, I'm talking about like Unix, Linux manual pages. And as you go, you can search for them on the Google, or you can search it on my book. So the manual pages at my webuniversity.com, if you click on it, this man_pages index.html comes in, and it is 66,000 technical documentation of manual pages, whether it's Python, GCC, Linux, Unix, Solaris, Mac, Windows, PowerShell, all those help I provided for you with a Python program I wrote. It's all just available at your fingertips. You just have to click on the manual pages, and you get like 13,000 technical documentation for, let's say, Solaris. And then go through them, at each one of them that you're interested. You just click on it. Just say, for example, if you're looking at CPU stat, and then this is the commands and the instruction how to do it. Any one of them that you click on it, there's always documentation for them. Similarly for PowerShell, for Windows and everything else. So for PowerShell on Windows, if you're interested, you just see these command there, about 2,000 documentation. So like get variables, for example, you click on it, you just read in the variables, and even the examples that are showing similar to what Microsoft does it. I'm just generating this one from Microsoft Windows operating system, and I put it online for you, so it is available. I don't have that many operating system running on multiple cloud environment. The only one that I have is Linux. Ubuntu, which is this machine that you're right now using. The Solaris machine, I did it on my virtual machine there. For Windows, similarly, for PowerShell, and for Mac. I did it on that one, and then I generate the list, and now it is available for you. And these are also the sorting order. You can just get them as well. And then as well, you can just go to the main page. If you're only interested on Linux Ubuntu, for example, you can get it here on Linux, CentOS, and Linux. At the same time, you can get it from chapter 7 of my book for any of these Linux command. If you're interested to just type in the command, for example, you learn about xterm. You just type in xterm here and say, show me the xterm command, and then my script, Python script, will just generate the xterm if there's any command with it. So if it is like, let's say Python, and there, it will just generate for you. If the xterm is not installed and the manual page is not there, I will not be able to generate it there. But if you are interested to look at it, there's a lot of videos that I have already posted at my YouTube, my Web University Free Educational YouTube channel. And there's more than 700 videos. You're welcome to learn from them. It's Python, shell scripting, C++, C, Windows, PowerShell, anything that you are looking, Apache web server, configuration of database, operating systems, kernels, stuff like that. But let's just look at, show you what I have, for example, on xterm already for you. So like xterm, if you look at chapter 3 of my book, I'm already covering a lot of the xterm stuff here that you're just going to learn from them. And then there's some Unix and Linux stuff that you can practice with them. At the same time, now let's see on this one, if you go to chapter 3, I believe, chapter 3, I have some session, intermediate Linux command. Let me just go to chapter 3 on the book. So chapter 3 here, intermediate Linux commands. You can practice all these 33 commands. Among these 33 commands, one of them is xterm. And right here, some cool example of using xterm is one video that I already have on YouTube that I showed you. You are welcome to watch them on YouTube, or just search it on the website and search for it. Or click on here on xterm and practice the command online yourself and understand them, read them there. You don't have to have the manual pages. You see which xterm, and then xterm -- help. And I'm already providing you a lot of the technical documentation for you. You could learn it from them. Similarly, with other commands, you're not only tied to the xterm. So if you're interested in something else about the operating system, like for example, let's say the command base name, what does base name do? Then you could just come in, click on this one, and it says, what is base name? And it tells you, and then these are the command that you can run for base name. So if you run the base name on user bin sort, it will just tell you the sort is the command for it, because this is the base. And then similarly, if you want to run dir name on the user bin sort, it will give you the dir name, which is user bin. So you're welcome to practice those ones. And if you are looking for something that is require a more kind of like a configuration that I have to explain, yeah, there's already documentation I have written for you. Here I explain everything from A to Z. How UMask works, how change mode works, how change ownership works, how change group works, security files, and all those details are here. I hope you enjoy it, and I hope you learn it. And please make comments to your needs. Anything that you need, I will make a video for you to help you out, because my job is not to just have these videos online for nothing. My job is to just make these videos so I can help those of you that have a hard time to pay the tuition at the university levels, or maybe somehow you're not able to attend the schools or universities that are so either too expensive or too far from you, or somehow you cannot just have the time to attend physically, and you want some classes to be available for you online and watch it and enjoy it at the luxury of your home. All you need is internet access and a browser to just go through any of these videos. And then since it is on HTTPS, it's a secure page on the Google. Even if you go to my web university and watch the video, you're actually redirecting to the where I have the video uploaded on YouTube. So you will never get any non-secure kind of information on YouTube. Everything is secure. Take care. God bless you all. Have a nice one. Bye-bye now.